Mic check, mic check. Alrighty. Think everything's running properly. I think at least. Hi, cat. I guess we'll start off with a bit of a cat. Hi, Misu. I know you don't want to be held. You want me to pet you and love you, but only the way you want me to do it. Only in your terms. I know. Hey, I know. You're so angry. Look at the little sausage girl. Okay, I'll put you down. Um, let's see. No, it didn't want to activate that. Stupid thing. So I had all these settings set up so that I could have like hotkeys or shortcuts. That's it. Hotkeys or shortcuts to transition to all my scenes. But I had to get rid of all of those for Thursday's stream. Now none of them work because I forgot to put them all back. So, oh well, I'll have to do it manually today, apparently. Isn't that right, little girl? All right. Anyways, how's everyone's weekend going? Hope everyone's having a good weekend and a good Sunday. Oh, I just messed that up. Right now I have this painting. This is painting I worked on recently and finished. I thought I'd leave it up while I'm setting up, but I will be working on my self-portrait today once I am finished setting up. Yeah, once my cat stops bugging me nonstop for attention. Go. Go. Come on, go. They're so cute. All right, let's put this aside. I'm done with this one. The position on this one's slightly different. Let me just move that over real quick. Um, let's see. It's probably this, right? There we go. There we go. And then the shear. Um, there we go. All right. Actually, hold on just a second. One more thing here I think needs to be fixed. Yeah. Actually, let's make it. There we go. All right. Yeah. All right. I think that's good. That's good enough at least. This is stuff I have to do every time. Every time I change paintings, I have to go through the process of readjusting it because each painting is just slightly different, and as soon as you move it, the angle changes and everything gets all messed up. So I should have all my links set up and everything, but I don't. But I was on the Dylan Sarah YouTube channel, and I'll get the links after the stream and drop them in. So there should, after the stream, links should be in the description. It was really cool and a lot of fun to be on the Drawn Together podcast, I guess, technically. Yeah. And I'm just going to be working on my self portrait from that. I'll share the links to the stream and the resources and everything if you want to participate. If anybody comes in and wants to participate, let me know. I'll take a break and I'll post those. If not, I'll do it after the stream because I'm disorganized and wasn't ready. That's it basically. No huge justification. I just was not prepared. I went out for lunch with a friend and didn't make it back in time. I also need to clean up my palette because it is a mess. So I'll take a minute to do that while I wait for people to hop in and hang out and say hi. It was interesting when I was working on my self-portrait during the stream. I I thought I noticed a mistake, and I tried to measure. It was a little hard to do while talking to them, but I tried to measure, and I'm like, I think this is wrong, or something's wrong, and I thought I figured it out, and I measured it, and I fixed it, and I actually made it worse. So I was 100% wrong, sort of. I actually was correct that something was wrong. Um, I just didn't identify the correct thing as being wrong, so it skewed everything. So I'm going to have to go in and I just remember that moment distinctly. That's why I mentioned it. So I'm going to have to go in today and do some minor surgery on my portrait as I move things around. But yeah, not a big deal. But it's just, it was funny because I remember that moment so distinctly while I was working on it, and I just messed it up. That's all it comes down to. I made the wrong choice. But the other reason it's worth mentioning is because I remember that moment so distinctly, hopefully, hopefully I'll be able to recognize that again in the future, but act differently. So, you know, even those moments when you get it wrong can sometimes be really beneficial. At least I hope. So only time will tell, but it was it was a very distinct moment. So alrighty. Hey Racin, I always want to say Ranson Kid, but it's Racin Kid. Welcome. Hey Des, welcome. Good to see you. You're late? You're not late. You don't have to be here. I appreciate you being here, but you're not late. But thank you. How's everyone doing today? I'm going to be finishing off my portrait from the Drawn Together podcast. I wish I had my links ready, but I was also running late. I went out for lunch and I totally didn't have time to prep everything. So I don't have the links to to everything. Stuck working? Ah, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully you get time off at another time to make up for it. I hope. All right, this should be dry. Is there any chance it's not that wet? No, that's not wet. Oh, that is wet. Okay. Not a big deal. That's dry. That's okay. I'm just going to oil out everything but the white on the corner there. That's also wet. That's weird. Hey, Carla, welcome. So happy to catch me live. Thanks for catching me live. I appreciate it. How am I? I'm doing good. You were really inspired by the drawn together. Oh, thank you. That's really sweet of you. I'm doing good. I'm gonna finish my painting from that episode. I didn't I didn't have enough time today to prep, and I don't have all my links. But if anybody still needs the links, let me know, and I will take a break. I'll take a minute and grab them if anyone wants to participate. Uh, if not, I'll do it after the stream and have it ready for everybody after the stream. But yeah, how are you doing, Carla? Uh, yeah, it was a lot of fun. The Drawn Together. I don't know what to call it. It's an interview podcast. I guess I'm just going with podcast for lack of other things. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, Des drew along. Des did a cool painting and took some really cool inspiration uh, from oh my god. Oh, my brain. Why does my brain do this to me? Van Gogh. That's it, Van Gogh. Really cool stylized choices there. Mm. Yeah, the swirls that you did in my beard and the marks that you made in the hair reminded me of like Van Gogh and also some of the like impressionists how they tend to like lay down paint. Camera, can you find me today? Yeah. But yeah. Carla says that she did start a painting of me. That's cool. I look forward to seeing it. Please tag me or show me however you want. I'd love to see it. Alrighty. So, gonna have to do some reconstruction on my face today. I was saying before anybody was actually here that when I was painting myself during the podcast, there was a distinct moment where I noticed a mistake, and I was like, something here is wrong, and I thought it was with the chin, and I kind of measured and corrected, but that was a mistake. Something was wrong. I was almost right about it, but I was wrong about the area in particular, and so I actually made everything worse. So today I have to go in and reconstruct some of that because I was a lot closer the first time. I didn't realize what was wrong at the time. How's everyone's Sunday going, other than Racing Kid who's stuck at work? Doing good. You're still prepping Candace for that commission. He wants it by Mother's Day, so you have time, but you don't want to delay doing it. Oh, when is Mother's Day? I have no idea. Did a couple of preliminary images in Krita to test things. Some new paintings you have planned. That's really cool. It's in May. All right. So this is going to look weird while I'm drawing in all the new stuff, but the reason I'm not just going in and covering up the old stuff first is that I can use all these things as landmarks at the moment. If I cover it all up, I won't be able to see any of those landmarks. Because all those brush marks are just landmarks. If I had the time, I could theoretically go paint over everything, take another photo, and then use those landmarks, those new ones. But I'm doing this live on stream, so I don't really feel like I have the time to do that. Yeah, you had some good advice for drawing or painting hands using cylinders, but could you explain it again? Absolutely. You like how it does? You like how it is? And I'm redoing it. Oh, I'm just fixing everything. I messed up and I'm fixing it. You know. Uh, I'm brave using the red. No, not at all. It's actually a really good color for this because, first of all, we have red in our complexion in general. People, in general, with exceptions, of course, but generally people have warm colors in their complexion, and then it's it's a strong color, but it's also a semi-transparent color. Um, so it's able to like mix in with other things pretty well as I go in later. Relatively speaking, at least. At least it's not Thalo, right? Because I've done this with Thalo before, and that's a mistake because then everything I paint afterwards just turns blue. Like you just lose control of the whole painting real fast. Um, yeah. But yeah, absolutely. As the advice for painting hands, the truth is, it's not it. You know, it's worth thinking about as just advice in general for like getting better at things. I mean, it works for painting for sure, and it works for hands. But yeah. Um, Hold on a second. And then what I mean, so my advice on hands. So the basic idea behind it is to figure out what you're having issues with. Um, like why, if we're using hands um as the example, like why are you having trouble painting hands? What is it about hands that gives you trouble? And then from there, devising little exercises, and I do mean relatively speaking little and quick exercises to practice those exact things that are giving you a hard time. So, is it like what is it about hands that is so difficult? Is it the anatomy? Like you don't understand how they work? Well, there's a ton of books on the anatomy of hands. Um, is it trying to figure out how the fingers interlock with each joint and everything like that? Simplify them into cylinders. There's a bunch of hand mannequins out there that you can find online, artists that have like, you know, mannequins to represent the hands to show you how to draw them and everything. Um, you know, and if you're having a hard time with it, you can just draw the mannequins, which are, much simpler. They're just the hand, they're just cylinders and blocks and stuff like that. Is it in perspective how it like, you know, goes from being like stretched out to like, foreshortened? Once again, practice with the cylinders, stuff like that. Stupid hand sausages, absolutely. Um, Another thing to specifically about hand, well, no, I take that back. One thing about painting to keep in mind is when you're painting certain things, like hands as an example, um, a lot of times it's good to like focus on the big overall shapes and forms, not worry about the details, like for instance, like the knuckles or the little lines on top of the knuckles and so on. Stuff like that. Um, Big shapes first, and then you know you make your foundation, and then you slowly build on that or chisel away at it, however you want to kind of mentally look at it. I hope that's helpful, Carla. And if not, I can, I can explain it. I can try explaining it better, or you can ask questions too, whatever, however you want. Whatever works. Also, as far as like being brave with the color, it's worth mentioning some of this painting is still wet, but most of it's pretty dry. I could probably wipe most of the paint I'm putting down, not all, but most of the paint I'm putting down right now, and just wipe it off entirely. Except for the stuff that goes into the white. That's gonna be stuck there. Yes, it is helpful. Oh, great. I'm glad. I did a painting of my of the Joker, and I did it before it was released on DVD or anything, so I had to use my own hands for it. And the first time I did it, I totally messed it up and had to redo the hands entirely. And then the second time is when I did them basically like sausages. It was very much like, I'm drawing just blobs. This looks so bad and stupid. But then, I went in and refined everything and like started carving away at everything, and, it made it came together really well. But I had to first do the sausage hands. Speaking of hands, Carla, I think you showed up a little late, so you missed the beginning of the stream, and I don't think you saw the painting I was working on before, that I just finished. I had it up. I can go get it in a minute, because I'll take a break between drawing and paint. I consider this drawing, even though I'm using paint. I'm just drawing in my corrections kind of thing. And after I do this, I'm going to go in and start painting in everything. But yeah, also talking about just to go back to what Des said about like that she liked it and then I'm changing it. That is part of my motto of just like not being afraid uh, to do that. Like even if some of it's good, and I agree actually, I thought a lot of it was looking okay. It just wasn't in the right place, and I don't want it to be in the wrong place, so I'm just going to go in and fix it. But yeah, my motto is very much like not to worry about that ever. Like getting it right is the getting it right and getting it looking good. Actually, getting it looking good is number one. Getting it looking right is second. Maintaining it is zero. Like it's not even a consideration anymore. That's a like one of my mottos when painting. Okay, that's good enough. Yeah. Wait, actually, take that back. Let me check one thing. Aha. Paralysis. I love. Yes, I love that you're pushing through and not being afraid. You're very slow, slowly cultivating fearlessness. That's great. That's fantastic. Um, it's it's um it's definitely not easy to do, and it I don't want it to sound like I just did it overnight necessarily. Um, it took a long time to. I used to not paint like this at all, so it took a long time to get here. But I try to get people to do it faster than me because I was kind of slow about it. I think everyone's capable of doing it a lot faster than me. So I'm going to take a photo of this because it looks kind of cool, real quick. Like double exposure kind of thing happening. All right. But yeah, here's the painting I just finished. Um, and I bring it up because of the sausage hands. I don't think these are the best hands I've ever painted, for the record. Uh, not by a mile, but you know, I still got them in there. I feel like that screen's a little dark, but it's so hard to tell. Anyways, it's really hard to tell sometimes if what I'm looking at is accurate or not, as far as like how light it is or dark. I actually just downloaded a new thing that should let me refine um, my color space. But once again, I need time to work on it all and figure it out. You think the hands look great? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. They're not yeah, they're not perfect. That's such a stupid thing to say. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I do like there's a lot of aspects about them that I like. I like the shadows and stuff. That painting was a challenging one for numerous reasons of mostly my own fault. I made that one harder than it needed to be. But you know, it came out good. I'm happy with the painting. I think it looks really good overall. And I got a really good critique on it from Nicholas Uribe, so that was good too. But yeah, the class is over, so no more color. Well, I'm not going to say no more color studies, but you know, less imposed color studies. We'll put it that way. But yeah, the for the hands on that one, you can go back to Wednesday if you want to see me work on them a bit. The VOD should be there. You can play it at double speed and just zip through it. Um, I don't know. I think I finished them on my own. Unfortunately, I was yeah. I think I finished them on Friday night. I'll put together a time lapse of it though at some point, hopefully soon. I have 2 time lapses ready to go. I need to like finish just like picking the songs basically and like publish them. So I got 2 time lapses coming out soon, and I have a lot more coming out after that. I spent, I don't know, like 3 hours last night. Yeah, I think it was about 3 hours fighting with all my programs to work, so that I could actually put together a time lapse. I swear to God, I don't know how these companies that make all these like editing programs, um, I don't know how they all suck so much. Like some of them are, they have great aspects to them, but it's like for someone, like me who isn't maybe as knowledgeable or experienced, they all just seem to suck. It was so cool that you were able to take a class with Nicholas. His critiques must be invaluable. Yeah, it was really cool. He's a great teacher. He's really good. And he's really, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, obviously he's very knowledgeable, but he's also uh, he's very, very sharp when it comes to painting stuff. It, in a way that um, I wasn't expecting, not because I wasn't expecting it from him specifically, but because it was like I wasn't expecting that at all, right? Like from anybody kind of thing. Uh, so yeah, really, really good. Uh, he's having another class on shapes and design. Uh, I don't know if it's still open or not. You should check it out. Our Painted Lives. It's happening right now, or he posted that it's happening soon. I can't remember when exactly it's happening. I'm not going to be taking that class, unfortunately. Yeah, like there was one painting that he was doing a critique on for me, and he was talking about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I can tell. Like it looks like you started on this area, and then you finished here, and I can see how you kind of hit your stride around here, and so on." And I'm just like, there's nothing to indicate any of this order that he's talking about. He's not wrong, but there was nothing really to indicate it, and he still picked up on it. It was crazy. You just checked and it's sold out. You keep missing out. You know, I would if I were you. Um, A, make sure you subscribe to their you know, uh, to their Instagram and set it as a priority. I would message them though and just say, hey, if anybody cancels, I would like to, you know, get in on this class if you want to. I would absolutely message them to do that because you never know. Someone might drop out. Great idea. We'll do that. Yeah, absolutely. Also, if before you send that out, I would also just put a little like, and if you happen to feel like you have extra room, also willing to do that. Just saying, you never know. Someone might drop out, or they might be like, one more person. Fine. You know, who knows? It's always easier to ask than it is you know, to not. Well, no, it's easier to not ask, but you're always more likely to get what you want if you ask than if you don't. Yeah, this is a lesson I kind of learned from uh, sort of, but I learned this from when I was dating. I um I tend to have blind spots and I can't really tell um I can't really tell when people are interested in or not looking for it now, but at the time I couldn't tell. I literally had someone anyway, it doesn't matter. But I could never tell. So I would have to just be very upfront and, you know, just be very clear about how things work because I had zero ability to tell sometimes. More to tell when people are interested. It's easy. I have much easier time telling when people don't want to be around me. That one's easy. Yes, and you're extra quiet so you won't take up too much space in the class. Yeah, I I think you're all good. Have you taken a class with Nicholas before? I'm curious. You never have. You're grateful to have purchased a painting of his, though. That's fun. All right, Lauren. No problem. Good luck with the dogs. See you soon. I've been meaning to try and go on more walks lately, and I have not succeeded at that. I need to get back into the habit. I was actually a little worried I was going to have to cancel today because I Friday night I spent, I think it was like 6-ish hours more painting, standing up painting. And when I went to bed at 5:30 in the morning, um, my back was so, I was in so much pain. I was having a hard time falling asleep. And it's just like, oh my God, if this continues into Sunday, I am going to have to cancel stream because there's no way I can pull this off. Luckily, it doesn't hurt uh, much anymore, but I can definitely feel like the sciatic stuff acting up more. So it's definitely sensitive still. And I still need to be cautious. Yeah, definitely need to be cautious about it. Yeah, I'm a night person, so staying up till like 4 a.m. is normal for me, but it's not good. I try and go to bed earlier, but yeah, I wanted to get that painting done for the last class, the last lesson. So it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna stay up and get it done. Do I have stretches for my back? I do. Yeah, I know a bunch of this. I was going to physical therapy last year for my back, and I I stopped going because my insurance ran out. Um, and then it's a new year, so technically I could probably go back, but um, it is expensive. Uh, I just stopped doing the exercises because I stopped going to physical therapy. And yes, I know that's dumb. Yeah, it's just been, uh, finding the time and the commitment kind of thing. More important than stretches, though, I will say this. Stretches are good for when when my back gets all tight and locked up and everything. But workouts for your back, I think, are more important than stretches long term. Hey, is it Jonas or Johns? Or is it Mark? What would you prefer? But welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. I don't have any notifications. I'm not one of those streamers that has all the like bells and whistles of notifications that pop up and everything. Apologize. That's just not my style. But I do appreciate it very much. Thank you. How are you doing today? I'm also really bad with names, so I do apologize if I get it wrong or butcher it or some other way. Make an ass out of myself around that. Jones, are you an artist as well? Because a lot of people who stop by are artists, and if not, that's cool. Non-artists are, of course, welcome. We, as artists, I think, obviously appreciate fans of art, regardless of if they create it themselves or not. You just ordered a hand mannequin. Hopefully, it will help you with your uh put with your something to better paint painting of hands. That's awesome. I can't see what that one word is because of that stupid heart that they put in there on stream. I'm so angry at YouTube for that stupid heart that they put on screen there. I'll see it when the what's it called? When the chat raises up a bit. Well, that's great, Carla. I hope it helps. If I have time when I'm doing a painting and I have the patience, which I don't always have either, but if I do, I love painting hair. It's so much fun. like painting hair, you go in and you get all the like clumps and you like, block in all those sections and everything. It's so much fun. It just depends on, you know, I have to be able to actually, like I said, time and patience. If I have those two things, hair is so much fun. Also, if anyone's struggling with hair, um, highly recommend checking out like comic book artists. How any books on like how to draw comic books and how to draw that or draw hair in comic books, because they really break it down and how to do it into sections and like, not to do the individual strands, but that and like concept artwork. I think they all have like real good demos on it. I was debating if should even finish this painting. Despite the fact that I have painted numerous self-portraits at this point, um, I really don't like painting self-portraits. Yeah. I mostly painted self-portraits out of like convenience. Uh, but yeah, not really a huge fan of it. Although there are some painters I like that have done really cool things with self-portraits. Trying to remember, there's one painter who did like a self-portrait a day or something for like or a week. I don't remember. It was something crazy, but for like a long, long time. It's really cool to see the person change like that. Like those photographers that take a selfie for like, years on end. And at the end, you get this like time lapse of them. You have a book of hundreds of different artists, each with a painting self-portrait. So many different styles and approaches. Oh, for sure. It was really cool to see even like the little, you know, the small amount of people that painted me, from relatively speaking, from drawn together. It was interesting to see all the different styles and approaches. There we go. It's coming together. Uh, the nose is still complete, not completely wrong, but I gave myself a very wide nose, and but it's only because I haven't gone in and put in like the highlights and stuff that's gonna, shrink it a bit on and bring it forward. Not everything's in the right place entirely, but it's close enough. It'll get there. It is funny. I actually, let me see. Let me see real quick. Okay, so here's the really interesting thing. At the moment, I think it looks less like me than it did in the beginning. But I think things are more in the correct place. And so now I just have to, you know, push it back to looking better. But before I do that, I am going to just do a quick stretch here on the ground. Oh, But yeah, it's really funny how it actually, in some ways, looks, I think, worse now. But that really does kind of highlight what I'm talking about as far as like not being afraid to mess it up. Like, you know, I have confidence that I'll be able to bring it back to where it was. And this is the most important thing though. If I don't, if I fail to bring it home and make it what it needs to be, it's not a big deal. I'll just paint another one. Don't worry about it. And then I know no one's worried about it for me, but I'm saying if you're worried about it for yourself, don't worry about it. Just do another one. The more paintings you do, the better you'll be. So just don't worry about it. Try and learn from it and just do another one even better. It's just painting. No one's gonna die from it. Like I'll mess up 100 paintings. I've messed up probably thousands. Maybe not thousands, but hundreds. I have so many bad paintings. Oh my god. I have so many bad paintings. You're gonna play what I just said over and over again in your head. It's the only way to improve it. It really helps. Um, you know that story about the professor, the what is it? The pottery professor. Yeah, I'm sure you know that one. I don't know if it's a true story or not, but yeah, I'm sure you've heard of it. Actually, I guess I should cover it for anyone who isn't familiar with this story. Supposedly, uh, college pottery professor, which don't know if those exist anymore. If I'm being honest. Regardless, did an experiment with his class where half the class had to create. They would be graded on the quality of uh, a single pot, um, and half the class would be graded on how many completed pots they had, based purely on, I think it was weight, supposedly, like weight of the clay. Um, and at the end of the semester, the students who had to produce the single perfect pot produced less or lower quality pots compared to the students who had to produce more, just based off of quantity, because they just made a bunch of pots, and by making a lot of pots, they got better. Now, having said that, I don't 100% agree with that because I think that deliberate practice really helps, and you can mindlessly practice, and that doesn't help. But, I guess there's nuances to everything, right? But yeah, the deliberate practice thing, which I got from a book, from a researcher who like studied that stuff, really helps you get, better faster. I just wish the book about it was more interesting or more interesting to read. Yes, knowing what or how to practice can be frustrating at times. What is the book you're referring to? Yeah, knowing what it is you need to practice is definitely a challenge. The book is called it's called Peak, but I don't remember the undertitle. And there's a few books called Peak. This is like Peak Performance or uh Peak something, the science of uh excellent performers or something along those lines. I don't remember exactly the title. I'll be honest. It has two authors, if I remember correctly. Um, but yeah, one of the biggest problems is identifying what it is you need to practice and how to practice it. Like, um, at a certain level, you get good enough that you can you get proficient enough, and you have enough knowledge that you can figure a lot of that stuff out on your own. Um, but when you're new, especially, you completely lack that knowledge and that experience, and so it is very hard to know. For Carla, for instance, and I'm not. This isn't about you. I'm just using your example, like hands, right? Like someone um, who is inexperienced and is trying to improve on hands might not even realize that that their issue is that they're having a hard time with proportions of the hands versus you know, or with the perspective versus proportions, or the anatomy, and that's why the proportions are off. Or what like it may, or maybe they struggle to represent volume, volumes of things, and that's why they can't get their hands right, and so they put extra effort into it, and then that extra effort ends up actually being counterproductive because they still can't get the volume, but then they overwork it, and then the size gets all messed up because they're so hyper focused on it, and so on. You know what I mean? So it can be very, very challenging, especially in the beginning, when you lack that, that self-awareness. Yeah, like I said, this is definitely not about you. I was just using that as an example. um but yeah. I don't know if you've ever experienced this personally or seen this, but like a lot of times, if you I've experienced this personally, and I've also seen it when talking with people, like people who are inexperienced or new to a certain thing often have confidence that they're, either better at it than they actually are, or that they could pick it up a lot easier than they actually can, or whatever it is. And then you talk to someone who's like amazing, and I've had this happen where I talk to some artists who I'm just like, oh my god, these people are like, I idolize these people, and these people who I idolize are actually less confident about it than like people who are way less uh capable than they are, and it's because they're so knowledgeable that it kind of loops around. They're so good at it. They're so knowledgeable that they see all the mistakes and all the faults and they see everything, and so they kind of lose that almost lose that confidence that they even had beforehand. It's a weird thing. Hey Des, welcome back. You're just in time. You actually came back at the perfect time. And no, I'm not joking. Well, yeah, I'll show you why in just a second. Hi, Justin. Oh, baby boy. Oh, baby boy. Yeah. No. Right to the nose licks, huh? Thank you. No, you can't go yet. Stay. Stay. Okay, you can go. He he thinks he's getting food. Michelle's making noise in the other room. He thinks he's getting food. Well, what is it? You thought you were getting food and now you're stuck here? Okay. Okay. You want to be on camera more? Hey, kitty. Kita? Sorry if I am not getting your name correctly. Kitte, maybe? Like kitty, but Kitte? Justin, do you see yourself on screen? Yeah. He sees himself on the screen and he's like, wait, what? Who is that? Why is there another orange cat here? Yes, you've been lurking. Your art is beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, like Kitty and Tay together. All right, Kit Tay. Welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate the lurk and I appreciate you saying hi. Welcome. This is Dresden. I have 3 cats. This is Dresden. He's the only boy cat we have. And he does fulfill all the stereotypes of being a ginger boy. Can you hold him next, Carla? I'm sorry. He's so shy of other people in the beginning. It takes a while. You were about to ask that, Kite? Yeah. You have 4 cats. Oh wow. Oh, Tristan. Okay, here. You can have my chair. Yeah, we have 3 cats and a dog, so 4 animals, but yeah. Yeah, he's not the brightest, but he is the sweetest. So Carla and Des are talking about watching Portrait Artist of the Year, and Carla says, watching the show makes me realize that it's all valid, all the different approaches and styles. Absolutely. Des is also right. The only person you have to impress is yourself, really. Yes. Yeah, Des has a lot of animals. Um, Kate, uh, do you, are you an artist? Do you paint, draw, whatever? Throw things against the wall and I don't know what. I'm just talking. Like, do you make art? But yeah, all styles are valid. I will say this. One thing I learned from watching not necessarily Portrait Artists of the Year, but a bunch of art programs in the past. Whatever your style, whatever your approach, whatever, do it for yourself, and you'll find an audience if you get it out in front of enough people. There's enough people in this world, someone, and by someone I mean hundreds of people, will like your artwork if you like your artwork. Kite says actually, I don't know if it's a she. They are a photographer, but you also do composite Photoshop artworks with your photos. Very nice. Very cool. I started getting into photography just a little because I wanted to take photo references for myself. And I wanted to be able to take, basically I wanted to be able to take photo references for myself and photos for of my artwork. Yes, she, her. Okay. Um, and It's so much information to be a photographer. The photo retouching stuff, I'm really good at Photoshop. I made money. I made a living as a photo retoucher for years um, before I got into storyboards. So I'm really good at photo retouching. But the photography side of things, oh my God, there's so much work involved in that. It's so complicated. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. I have mad respect for photographers. Kide says a lot of people treat it like you're just pressing a button, but it's so much more complicated than that. Absolutely, absolutely. Des says back when I was in school, uh, in an old lady croaky voice, she says, it was pre-digital, so in high school art classes, we used the dark room to develop our own film. Uh, Kate says, yeah, I got to do the darkroom stuff in high school too. So fun. Yeah, the darkroom stuff definitely takes it to a whole other level. I think, both in complexity and it also can add a lot to it depending on how you're doing the darkroom stuff. Of course, it's very limiting in other ways. Absolutely. I mean, obviously you know that, but I'm just talking. Recognizing the limitations of it and the advantages. There's a photographer, I can't remember her name. She does photos of she's done photos of her family, but then she also did a series of photos of like what's it called? Locations where like Civil War battles have been fought. Um, and she developed them all on silver plate glass or whatever it's called, like forget what the name is. uh oh my God, those photos look so freaking cool, so like haunting. Yeah, you'd be so lost in a dark room now. That's fair, it's been a while, I'm sure. There's a painter I like. You might know him, Jeremy Mann. uh he has a YouTube video about his photography process. It's called like In the Dark Room or something like that. Or Behind the Dark Room or something. I can't remember exactly. Jeremy Mann, man with two N's. Check it out. He's pretty funny. The video is pretty funny, I think. Daz, that's such a bad dad joke. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, don't be sorry. That's funny. Kate says, "Oh yeah, I studied his work in honor. So beautiful." Yes, but have you seen the video he did on his on his photography process and his dark room that he made and all of and the cameras he made for himself and all that? Not so. This is like not even about his paintings directly. It's more about the photography side of things. You have not. You'll have to check it out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I mentioned it because it's so specific and different. It's not like so much about his paintings as much as it is about that. And he does the robot for a minute in it too. One thing I will say, going back to the what's it called, portrait artist of the year. I hate I well I kind of have to call them out on something because it was kind of funny. Tristan, damn it. So they in portrait artist of the year one year there was a what's it called? There was an artist who did like pen and ink work, and he was doing this like uh, this line work, like this hatch work, and it impressed the fuck out of the judges. They couldn't get enough of it. They were just in awe of this kid who was doing this hatch work, that they'd never seen before, and it's like um, anybody who reads manga and comics regularly would recognize that pattern. It's a very, very common, uh, you know, pen and ink, line work, hatching that comic book, comic both Western and the manga artists use. Uh, and it was infuriating watching that episode. I just wanted to scream at them because, like, you guys just don't know what you're talking about. This is, I suppose, that is beneath them. I guess I don't know. It was just one of those moments where, you know, I wouldn't actually say that. I would say they just don't know, right? They just don't read comics and they don't read manga. That's all it is. It's not fine art. It's not. Uh, so but it was just like, oh my God, you people are just, it's one of those things. Anytime you hear people talking about something, about a subject, this does happen occasionally. Anytime I hear someone talking about a subject that they are not informed on, but think they are, and I am informed on and know I am, or at least to a degree, it can be very frustrating. Your dogs are howling. That's awful. Sorry to hear that. Do you what breed are they? I stayed with someone once who had a what is that dog called? Um What's the beagle? I think it's a beagle. They sound like sirens, like just they howl like the siren. A boxer and a pit bull mix, and a terrier poodle mix, and a chihuahua. Is the chihuahua the worst of them all? They have a reputation. No, the terrier poodle is. Okay. The chihuahua is not yappy, but he's high strung and freaks out easily. Scares, but not loud. Okay. There's this guy I watch on YouTube. He does these videos about dogs. Um, and I'm not the big. I'll be honest. I'm not the biggest dog fan. Like I connect with cats way more than I do with dogs in general. Uh, I just grew up with cats more, so I have an easier time reading them. But he does these videos on dogs, and like they're pretty funny. So I'm getting to learn different stereotypes of dogs through his comedy skits on dogs. So I want to ask Dream a few questions before I forget. Um, So the title of my stream today on YouTube was completing myself painting stream. I didn't change my Twitch stream because Twitch has been giving me a hard time, so I just didn't bother even trying to change the title on Twitch. But on YouTube, it was completing myself, uh, referring to the, self-portrait, of course. How bad would it have been if I had said, if it had been finishing myself off painting, painting stream? I'm just curious. I thought it was funny and inappropriate, but that's the funny part of it. I just don't know. Sometimes I feel like my sense of humor can be a little, uh, I don't know, too much for people. Also, if anybody here uh, likes to like check out companies to see if they're scammers, let me know because I've got a company that's in talk I've been talking to, and I'm not sure if they're a scam or not. I looked it up online. I couldn't find anything, so I don't know. Carla says that would be funny. It would be fine with me. You'd be clicking on painting stream and not something else. That's fair. Yeah. I'll say this, generally speaking, most of the artists I've ever met in my life, I think it's because artists have, you know, through through just even simple training for art, like they're not the most prudish, because it's like, well, you kind of have to draw nude people occasionally to know what the figure looks like, and so on. I'm sure somewhere there's some, but generally speaking, they're a little more comfortable with that stuff in general, in my experience. My first time I did a nude figure drawing class, I was 15, and for the first I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that, I was so awkward. Um, and then I just started focusing on the painting and completely forgot about it. Yeah, until the break, and then I became awkward again. I wish I could be. I wish I could go on the Portrait Artist of the Year, though. Yeah, I do wish I could participate in that. That would be so cool. Apparently, and I don't know how true this is, although I suspect it's pretty true. Apparently, so you can't be on the show if you don't live there, right? That's like a big part of it. It's but apparently they're willing to fudge that a little bit for certain artists. Like if you're popular enough or big enough, um, they'll fudge it a little. Which I will say is a little surprising. I did not expect that to be the case, if I'm being honest. But yeah. I know if I did ever go on that show, I would definitely have to practice to like prior. I'd have to I'd have to practice to get fast enough because I recently did a portrait, not a portrait, a figure painting uh thing, and I was nowhere fast enough to participate in Portrait Artist of the Year. But a little bit of practice, I think I'd get there. Shoot, yeah, they have 4 hours, but there are breaks and stuff. There are breaks, and uh, you know, I don't know how accurate that really is because it's 4 hours. But if you've ever been on any place, any place that does, any TV show or set or anything like the amount of setup and tear down and like people often have to like repeat lines and do things multiple times and like it's not that simple. So I do wonder what the whole experience is like. Yeah, it does. I'm muted. Thank you. But we have a cat friend. This is Winnie. Yeah. Thanks, Des. I appreciate the muted comment. I didn't see it until now, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. When I showed the painting before, and I was muted, I forgot to say, I was saying that that was a painting I did in 4 hours. I'd gone out to paint from a live model for the first time in years, and that was what I was able to do in 4 hours. But like I said, I hadn't painted from a live model in years and years at that. So yeah, little girl. Okay, okay, I'll put you down. Little girl. No, go on, go on, go on. Yeah, all the cats want dinner now. They're all coming by, circling me for food. Now that I'm not muted, I'm not talking. uh, I will say it is actually pretty challenging to talk the whole time. Like I try and talk and keep the things, you know, entertaining and informative and all that. But it is surprisingly difficult to keep it going the whole time. Um, even when there's like a ton of participation with chat, there's still a lot more downtime than you think when you go back and listen to the recordings. Laura is Carla says she's painting. She is working. Wait, she is working on the painting right now of me. The furrow between the brows is tricky, and you think you put too much paint, but your painting inspired me to push through. Nice. Oh my God, you just reminded me. Last night I saw this Instagram. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think it was on Instagram. Um, this paint company was advertising their acrylic paints, and they call it. I think they call it full body or something like that. And it is like to call it thick. It is an understatement. Like it literally is. Like you literally could like like frosting, like you can sculpt it like frosting, like it's super thick. I was just like, oh my God, that is insane. How like thick it is. Henry Spy, hey, welcome, man. Hey, painting looks a bit like you. Well, thank you, man. Hopefully it looks a bit more like me at the end. Laura asks, was it like modeling clay? No, it literally was like frosting. Like they used a frosting bag to pipe it out for decorations. Like they made like a roses by how you like make. If you've ever seen like people pipe out roses for frosting? It's like that type of thing. Like it's that thick. It was crazy. How you doing, Henry Spy? What are you up to? You have to do yours. You do a self-portrait once a year. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this was for, I was the model for Drawn Together, the podcast on Dylan Sarah's channel. And they, you know, they were drawing me and I was painting myself while they like interviewed me. And they encourage the viewers to also draw or paint and post online and so on. Hence the name Drawn Together. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I highly recommend the podcast and the YouTube channel. I will have links in my if you go to my YouTube channel, I will have links for that. I don't have the links up at the moment on this current video because I was ill prepared, but I will put them up after the stream. That's cool that you do a once a year self portrait. That's got to be an interesting experience to see yourself change over the years. I haven't done that, but I think it's a great idea. And maybe something I will actually start doing. I've done maybe too many self-portraits since COVID. So kind of tired of it, but Oh my God. When so I went to the local art school recently. I'd taken a class there before years ago, but I finally went back for like a uninstructed painting, you know, a model session, and I felt so awkward in general. But I was talking to the people there, and it kind of came up in conversation. They were talking about buying art supplies and stuff like that, right? Oh, we were talking. What it was is we were talking about the Portrait Society conference that is coming up in April, which I am going to. If anybody is going to that, let me know. I'd love to say hi. But yeah, I've never gone before, and they were saying, save your money for the vendors because they have a lot of vendors there, and you can buy, all the whatever stuff there. And I wasn't thinking, and I was just like, yeah, I always feel awkward buying art supplies. Excuse me. I always feel awkward buying art supplies anywhere but at Jerry's Artorama. Um, and the reason is, and they were like, oh, you shouldn't feel guilty about it, blah blah blah. Like it's fine to buy from other places because I think they were thinking we have a local Jerry's, and that's why I feel awkward about it. And I'm like, oh no, that's not it. Um, I feel I feel awkward spending my money anywhere else because I feel like I'm kind of wasting my money because I have a gift card for Jerry's Artorama with like I think it still has like $1,000 on it or something like that. Um, and I wasn't intending this to be like a flex or anything like that. Like the reason I'm talking about it now is because A, I felt awkward about it, and B, pretty much not everybody, but most of the people who watch me know I won this competition a couple years ago. So it's not like I'm flexing on people here, but I won a self, I won a self, I won a self portrait competition at Jerry's, and I got a gift card. Um, and so it just feels like wasting money to buy anywhere else until I go, until I burn through my gift card. But I feel like maybe I came off as like flexing on people, even though I was just, talking like I wasn't trying to. That wasn't my intention. It was more just me being me, I guess. Henry Spy says solution becomes super rich. I mean, I'm that's a solution to a lot of my problems. I'll be honest. That really would solve a ton of my problems in life in general. It would give me a lot more problems. Des, I'll tell you what, am willing to give it a shot and see what the difference is like. And I'll tell you what, I am absolutely willing to give it a shot and report back and tell you which one's worse. Now I just need to figure out how to do that. But no, I'm sure it would it would definitely give you different problems. Uh, I am reaching the end of my energy today. I can feel it. So I'm gonna start my goodbye spiel, which is just thank you everyone for sticking around. I stream 3 times a week. Monday, um, Monday night, Wednesday night, Sunday day. That is the routine. Um, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Um, Join the Discord. I have I let people know when I'm streaming on the Discord. I also have what's it called? A feedback channel if anybody wants feedback. Uh, it is open and free until I don't have time anymore. Um, yeah. Um, I'll be back tomorrow painting this, finishing it, and then have to move on to something else or go back and finish some other paintings that I have a ton to finish. Also, I should have a, what's it called? I should have a short out later today. So if you feel like it, be on the lookout for that. Like I said, I'm gonna be trying to push out more. I'm gonna start with shorts and then eventually I'm gonna move into like sort of videos, we'll say. Sort of videos. Like I can't pull off the scripted like videos, but maybe, time lapse videos and stuff. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah. Um Cheers, Leon. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice week. Thanks, Henry. Absolutely. You too, everybody. I hope everyone has a great week. Um, you know, Stop by tomorrow if you're up for it, if you feel like it. It'd be great to have everybody in chat there. Um, Kite, absolutely. You're welcome for the stream. Thanks for stopping by and thanks for, joining the chat. I appreciate it. Uh, Link to my Discord. I'll be honest, I don't know. I think my Twitch, all my Twitch links are like crap at this point. On my YouTube channel, all the links should be working. So I apologize for neglecting my Twitch, but it was giving me a hard time lately. Like I couldn't change settings. Like it was just giving me a hard time. So That's why YouTube is getting some preferential treatment. But yeah, um, all the links are there. And I will also add the links to the drawn together and the episode. And yeah, I'll be doing that as soon as I get off the stream and I feed the animals. After I feed the animals come first, then I'll share links. I think that's fair. Thanks, Des. See if that works. Thank you, Des. And oh, a special thank you to all the people who did participate in the drawn together. Laura, that Laura, of course, Don Lee, Carla, that includes you, even though you haven't posted yet. I look forward to seeing it. And if you tag me on Instagram, I will be more than happy to share your artwork from the episode because it was a lot of fun and it was great to see everybody's artwork. And if you go to my Instagram, actually, I think it should still be in the stories. There's a bunch of artwork from a lot of fun people who did really cool artwork. So you can discover some new artists there too. Damn, Des, look at you. Thank you so much. That's really sweet. I think Carla might be slightly behind on the live stream. Like some that can happen on YouTube, unfortunately, sometimes. All right, before I go, last thing before I go, maybe. We have. No! Ah, he ran away. Damn it, Dresden. I thought we were going to have a cat, but he ran. Anyways, have a good one, everybody. And I will see you tomorrow, maybe. And yeah, Laura, Des, links do not get put into YouTube. Nope. You cannot put links in YouTube. So, sorry. All right, have a good one.